Hey guys, we're back with Three's a Crowd.
What are we discussing today?
I think today's just about banter.
Yeah, banter, chatting, questions.
Yeah, we have some
thoughts.
questions, some fun questions.
Wait, how was everyone's morning, by the way?
My gosh, I've been so crazed because my husband's traveling, and I kid you not, it's been the busiest Monday and Tuesday, or whatever day it is. I don't even know.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It's been the busiest couple days. Because also I'm looking for some part-time help because my nanny is no longer with us, and I miss her. I've been crazed. I don't underestimate the help that we have at home because I'm going crazy.
And you have Tom's 40th coming on.
I know.
I'm so excited. This
Yes.
is like my Saturday night.
I know. We've been all
I
planning.
feel like
plans.
everyone's been talking about it, and I'm like really nervous. I'm like, I really hope it, like, you know what I mean? Like the expectation you have in your
it's gonna be
head.
great.
I hope
It'll be
so.
fun.
So
I know.
fun.
You put so much work into this.
I
It'll be
did.
great.
It will be good.
It'll be really great.
I still don't know what I'm wearing, guys.
It's après ski, so
Yeah. Wait, so do you say après or après? I've been calling it après. You're the French, isn't it a French word?
I just say I say it like an American
But
way.
what's-
I'm like après ski.
Michelle speaks French, so I love hearing
But
her.
like après would be the way you say
love
it.
it.
But like
Oh my
I would just
God.
say
I
après
say it
ski.
like that now.
I know.
From
Or
now
like
on.
après.
Après. Oh my God, I love that.
Spit those R's.
I love it.
Oh man,
Okay.
no, it's gonna be really fun. All right, so I want to kick us off.
yeah, let's do it.
With our chatter. I actually was thinking
I wrote
about all
them
these
down.
things. So wait, first I want to start with this is a little fluff,
Yeah.
but I just discovered a beauty product that I cannot live without.
I need to
I
know.
brought it. It's in my bag, so I can't pop it out.
yes.
But okay, so we've been talking about Dr. Laura Devgan
Yes.
in the city. So a girlfriend of mine started using her products, and she does this lip platinum serum with SPF 30. And you know me, my lips are the Sahara Desert. Like if there's anything dead on my body, it's my lips.
You were putting like nipple cream on your lips.
I mean,
Which I've heard is amazing.
I
by
do
the
love
way.
the nipple
Yes,
cream.
Yes.
But this is like, it takes your lip line and accentuates it and plumps everything up. It tingles a little bit. Like you cannot get it outside of your lip line, and it has SPF 30 in it. It's incredible. I almost want to get it and put it on so you guys can see what it looks like in like 2 minutes.
Let's do that out on the end because
Yeah.
that would be a great thing to
It's-
show.
Do you have it on now
the
though?
coolest. I put it on like earlier this morning.
Because
but
your top lip looks a little fuller.
it's, I'm telling you, it's so good. I thought it was going to be so gimmicky. I'm like, okay.
Does
a
it?
lip
Did you?
plumper.
What's the other one at Sephora that you can get that does the tingly thing? And
Like the Vernum or what? Or there was
shoot,
one
now
that
I'm
was
forgetting
like,
because it's really intense. Like when I put it on, it almost looks it like completely expands my lips.
yeah,
and
like
I'm
hers
curious.
does the tingling, but it's mild because that
Yeah.
tingling sensation like kind of bothers
no,
me.
it bothers me too. And then I
Yeah.
can't kiss my husband. Like when we're out, he's like,
Because
oh my God.
yeah. No,
so
but
funny.
it was.
I love it.
It's a good one. So I got
wait,
a
what
couple of
doctor
her-
is this and where?
Laura Devgan. So she's like a very renowned plastic surgeon in the city.
Okay.
In New York City, and
And you
she's
have to
got
go
a
to her
great
office to
Instagram.
get it?
No, you can order it on her website. So I did that, and then I got her CE whatever ferulic, whatever they say, and then I got her hyaluronic acid or serum, sorry, and then her microdermabrasion scrub. But it's really beautiful products, and
I'm gonna look her up.
I'm actually not like the most loyal person to products.
Yeah.
but I'm really blown away with
We're
her
trying.
stuff.
Yeah,
The only
that's
product
great.
I'm like married to is the Biologique. Like
You're
I
obsessed
cannot-
with them.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I need to try
Guys,
that.
You guys, if you don't know it's medical grade. And
Yeah.
it is, like I'll only go get a facial if they have Biologique.
But the
products.
stuff
Yeah.
I have is medical grade too. I only have medical grade things.
Yeah, the Biologique is amazing. If you get a
I
facial,
tried to go
you will not
natural.
go back.
Which
I tried
no,
to go
you
natural.
can't.
No, I called
was
Tracy and
just
I was
gonna
like,
say
oh
that.
my God, this like
Yeah.
deer tallow is really not cutting it.
I tried. It's a good intro.
I was doing the beef tallow.
Yeah.
Oh, stop! Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. Wait,
Yeah.
on your face?
I was doing it everywhere. It was like Vaseline on my face. I was like, oh, this sounds like a great idea considering I have acne.
Wait, this is the best the best advice I've ever gotten from someone in beauty. We were at like a party. I actually think it was at our friend Kristen's house. Like,
Okay.
This is like, I think even before I even knew you, this is like when I first met Kristen, and one of her friends is like a beauty esthetician who is awesome. And I'm forgetting her name right now, but she's amazing. She has an Instagram following. I'll try to pull it up later. But anyways, she was telling me, I was like, I feel like my skin isn't the same. This is like 6 years ago. She goes, girl, finish what you're using. She goes, and get rid of it. And you have to get medical grade. She's like, anything that is not medical grade will not work with aging skin. She's like,
Yeah.
obviously when you're younger, when you're 20s, you're not I mean, you're aging, but you're not aging.
Yeah.
And she's like, so that stuff works. But she's like, the minute you start getting those wrinkles, or the minute you start like really kind of getting up there, you got to use the heavy duty
it's so
stuff.
true.
That's how I feel about my products. Like
Yeah.
nothing will work except for biology because I feel like it's like very intense.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm at. I'm like, okay,
I
I'm going to
actually wanna
go
pull her up
medical
now.
grade.
Yeah.
And I went to her, to Laura Devkin. And I'm like, okay, like immediately you definitely see like a quality in product.
It's so funny that you mentioned the beef tallow though, because when I was in Florida, they had a farmer's market and the girl was selling beef tallow.
Yeah.
And I got it. And the whole weekend I was so obsessed. I was putting it everywhere.
No, but it does feel really good for like hands and feet. And when
Yeah.
I put it on my kids, I mean, they look like
Right.
the way I thought I would look on my face,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I'm like, oh,
It's
that's
a little greasy though.
It's definitely greasy, so I only use it at nighttime.
Oh,
but I love it on my hands and
Yeah.
stuff. I have such a hard time with lotion because I can't stand seeing cream on my jewelry or my phone.
know.
It like legit grosses me out. Like if
Yeah.
I like cream my hands and then like use my phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
how
Cream
gross.
my hands.
Cream
Sounds
my-
great.
Oh, don't worry, we have plenty of time to go there.
All right, wait, guys. So do you want to go first with the questions, or do you want me to say something first?
I have something. Okay, I'll go first with the questions.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the best piece of relationship advice you've ever gotten?
Oh, I like this. Okay. Wait, I actually
that's
think
a
I
hard
wrote
one.
one down
I know.
because
I know it's
hold
a
on.
little tricky
Um,
because there's like a lot.
there's a lot, but okay. I'll just off the top of my head, what I'm going to say is the best relationship advice I ever got. My grandmother told my mother, and people are probably going to disagree with this, but I think this really reigns true because I've put this in my marriage and I think I have a great marriage. No matter what, when you're married, your husband comes first, even if before the kids, which some people are going to be like, oh my God, it's like, your husband has to be first, no matter what. And you have to give him that time. Otherwise, if your relationship crumbles, everything in your life will crumble because it's like, that's like your main focus and your partner. And you have to make sure he's happy, just as like he has to make sure you're happy. It goes both ways. But if you put the kids before him, work before him, friends before the husband, that's where situations, I feel like, get into really bad situations. But also number 2, I think, is just communication. I think that's where the most trouble in relationships happen is through communication. Because like again, we were talking about last episode or a couple episodes ago about things you say in your head or your own dialogue.
Your own narrative, yeah.
They're not mind readers. So you have to say those things just like he has to say those things. And I think if you have a good communication and you put your husband or wife first, you guys, you'll do well.
So that very true. I think I live by that as well. I always say I knew Jason first before the kids.
Right.
But I think mine would be someone, I don't know who told me this, but that the man has to love you a little bit more.
Oh, I know. People say that all the time.
And I feel like that with every relationship. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really be with anybody that's like too much better for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like there has to be a level of equalness.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the man should love you a little bit more.
A little bit
so I'm
more.
a big fan of that.
That's so good.
You have
I
to
feel
answer
like
your
I
own
hear that all the
question.
time. So, okay, couple things. This would be one for like if you're dating.
Yeah.
I remember being like, how do you know if like the person you've met is the one you're going to end up with or marry? Like, how do you really know? And someone, I don't remember at the time, said the question you should be asking yourself is, has this person asked for you to break up with yourself?
I like that.
Like when you meet somebody, did you have to break up with any part of yourself to make that relationship work?
that's so.
And I was like,
amazing.
oh, like, because there's so many relationships like you'll go and you're trying to like
Right.
maybe do something. This is like for anyone like dating out there, like don't
Or
go
don't
with
get
anybody,
married.
or
Yeah.
Don't get married. Don't get married
Yeah.
to somebody who's asking you to change every
Yeah.
single thing about you.
Yeah.
And then when you do go through hard times or like difficult moments, it's like don't cause permanent damage for something that's temporary. I think that's a big one because it's so easy to be like reactive and like, but
I like that.
I think those would be my
All right.
go-tos.
Want me to do number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the most memorable or cringeworthy date you've ever gone through or been through? Memorable or cringeworthy?
Memorable, I know, because I ended up marrying the guy.
I know, which I love though. You can talk
Yeah.
about that. That's like
so
my
good.
memorable one too.
Yeah. So I think my memorable one would be it was my second date with Steve. My first date was I lured him into the date. He thought we were going to a group to a concert as a group. but it wasn't. I was like, surprise, it's just me. Total creep. He was probably very afraid. But our second date was, he's very into food and stuff like that. And there was a restaurant in the city. It's still there, but it's been reiterated in a bunch of versions. It's called Brooklyn Fare. And they had just opened up in Brooklyn, and it was like night 3 of their opening. They didn't even have their liquor license, nothing. And it was in the middle of this. I mean, I'm sure now it's not nowhere Brooklyn. At the time, it felt like nowhere Brooklyn. And we walked in, and it was this like beautiful chef's table for like 12 people. And this guy, and like one of the guys next to us was one of the restaurant critic people. Like, I think it was like Adam Platt at the time or something like that. And Steven brought wine, and all of the wine that he brought was from my birth year.
I know that is the best.
It was really sweet. And the chef was like, wow, are you guys celebrating a special occasion? Like literally thinking we're about to get engaged. And I was like, it's our first date. The chef was like,
yeah, you better keep that wine.
I went from wine in a box to the good stuff.
You were like, I got this guy.
I know. Like, wait a second.
I was like, well, the chef seems impressed. So that was my most memorable.
I love that. Do you have one, or do you want?
God, I have a disastrous one.
Wait, I love it. Let's hear it. I want to hear a disastrous.
We all have those.
Okay, but it's very young, guys, so don't judge. But like, so
no judgment here.
So my girlfriend, like in high school, she used to date. Like her boyfriend was in college, so we used to always go to whatever, up in Orlando to this fancy college where all these like,
fancy.
preppy guys
I love how you
went.
say fancy college. Yeah.
Fancy college where all
A
these
fancy
preppy
one
guys
in Orlando.
Yeah, fancy one. Go on.
Because I think it was Stetson.
Yeah.
Stetson College, anyways.
Yeah.
So there was this guy. His name was. I don't even know if this is his real name because now that I'm older, I think about it. His name was. I'm like, oh my god.
Wait, I love that this is the preppy college, and you're like.
You guys, he drove this Porsche and he was so hot. And anyways, I don't know why he went out asked me out on a date, but
because you are hot Sutton.
Back then it wasn't that.
Wait, I feel bad you just used his full name and like where he went to college, and you're about to say a horrible story.
It's a horrible story about me.
Oh, got it.
Me. No, so anyways, he took me on a date, and we went to go to this fine Italian restaurant. I had never been on a date before in my life. I don't know what happened. I think I was so nervous that I started laughing, and I was eating, and I literally, when you do one of those silly things where like, I don't know, I think I like snorted through my nose or something, and I don't even know what happened, and I had to like literally excuse myself and go to the bathroom. It was so embarrassing.
Wait, what did he do? Did he leave?
No, he didn't leave. No,
I was like, that's pretty.
Then that's not bad.
mild.
Yeah.
No, I know, but it was like,
But like, when
he was like a god on campus, and I literally.
okay. So I get the picture now.
Little, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But anyways, that was most memorable. But anyways.
What about in your adult, obviously not with your husband, but any adult life dating situations that you were like, because like I know that you had a matchmaker at one point and you kind of were going through it.
Yeah, but Jason was my first date.
I love that. I know. You guys are so great
through
together.
the matchmaker?
Yeah.
Wait, I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's such a success rate. Where is this woman?
I don't think she does it anymore, right? Because
No,
remember
she does.
he and but like
She does.
okay, never mind.
She does. Yeah, I think she's still in business, guys.
Yeah.
Samantha's table.
Well, good success rate. I mean, you guys have a great marriage, beautiful
Yeah, but
family.
I was like number 10. I mean, listen.
With Jason, you're
I
nailed.
nailed.
But for you, it was
I
number
knew how to
one.
seal the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sealed the deal. This guy's not going anywhere.
So, but like even before that though, before the matchmaker, did you like were you going on dates, or you were just kind of like?
I was going on annoying dates. And then
Exactly. There you go. Annoying dates. New York
annoying
City.
dates, yeah.
Yeah.
Like one guy, like I remember, showed up and he's like, "Wow, you look much better in person than you do on your profile."
Like, okay, peace out,
Great.
jerk. Oh my god.
It was like literally like, "Are you done with your drink? You want to leave yet?"
Oh my god.
Dude, there's some
know.
bad. there's
Guys,
some bad
I
eggs.
just missed that whole era of like the app.
I did too. I met Steven like 2 weeks before Tinder launched.
I met Tom in
was-
2000. What was it 8? I think it was 2008. Was that like right before Tinder?
No, Tinder I think was later because I met Steven
No,
in
that's what I mean.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it came out like within the month, I felt, or when I found out about it, anyways.
Well, that's what like I got set up on a blind date. So like I was.
Oh,
But
wait, with Tom? It was a
yes.
blind date? Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yes. So like
wasn't it through your parents or something?
So I was a singer
You're so
actress.
Italian.
Yeah. No, this was I took off from Berklee College of Music a year. Well, I mean, it was after that. It was it was more than a year.
Yeah.
I never went back. But I was home and I was commuting back and forth into the city to like go on auditions. I was recording, I was singing, I was working on myself and just trying to, do me. So I was living at home, but I was also, all my friends were sophomores in college. So I was home commuting into the city, living this, adult life when I was a sophomore, and all of my friends were back at college. So I was miserable. I was so bored. I was so lonely. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, this is not what I wanted to do. It was so hard going to the city. And then getting, the whole scene with getting told, you're not good enough, and commuting. Yeah. So anyways, my mom and Tom's aunt, they knew each other. They went to the same country club, and they were chatting at the gym. And my mom was bitching about me, and Tom's aunt goes, "I have a nephew in the city. Why, since she's going to the city, why don't they meet up? So just see what happens." But you guys, so my mom brought this up to me because she was kind of trying to be like, go meet friends, go do something in the city. And I was like, Mom, this is so embarrassing. I went on Facebook and I was like, okay, maybe I'll do it. I wrote him a message. He still has it, by the way. It's so cringe, but whatever. It's so cute. I was so embarrassed because I never got set up. I never needed to get set up. I was I never had issues with guys, but this was more I needed a friend. So we made a date. We were going in the city. As I was going into the city, I was sitting at Metro North going in. I start panicking and I'm texting all my friends. I'm texting my mom. I'm like, I'm getting off of this train and I'm going home. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was like, this is ridiculous. Why am I meeting this guy? I don't need no more friends. I don't need to be set up. This is so weird. So I pull into Grand Central. I'm literally looking at the times to go home. And all of a sudden I hear Melissa. I'm like, oh my God, because thanks to Facebook, he knew what I looked like. And I was like, oh my God. And I was going to play sick. I was going to be like, I don't feel well. I'm going to go home. And I turned to him and I just ooh, but I just this calm came over me, and he gave me a smile. He said, "Hey, how are you?" Gave me a hug.
Oh,
and
so sweet.
I was kind of okay, and he was like, "Do you want to?" He's like, I was thinking of. I think we went to Madame Tussauds and the ESPN Zone, which is
I love
crazy.
It. Yeah,
and whatever. We ended up having a great time. I'm glad I stayed. But that night, I called my mom back on when I was on the Metro North, and I was like, I just met the man I'm going to marry.
Crazy.
Yeah. And my mom's like, you crazy ass. What are you talking about? Because she's like, you're so crazy. Because I was just complaining about doing it. But I was like, no, I just knew instantly that was it.
Wait, isn't that amazing that Gym Encounter creates this relationship and these 4 children and this whole life? I just get so blown away with
Isn't that right? What if I didn't see him, and what if I just went back on the Metro? I wouldn't I was so embarrassed. My mom made me do this. I was like, why am I doing this? About to turn around, and then
it's such a pivotal moment.
Yes, and and you guys, I was dating men. I was dating.
Yeah.
The minute I met him, I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
Done.
You know.
So, anyways, that was my one.
Oh, yeah, I wish I had more, but I don't know. I was never really a free for all kind of person in the city. I was very particular with the dates that I went on.
Well, you had a daughter though.
Well, even before that.
Oh yeah.
I
just thought people were creepy. I was scared.
You're it's a jungle out there.
Yeah. And you know what else?
I feel it's a jungle now. Sometimes I hear just having single friends in that scene, and it just sounds really intense.
I worked in a bar too. So it was every
you saw it
night,
all.
I just would see everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That would desensitize. Not desensitize. That would make you freak out.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Wait, Michelle, one of these questions I loved. I think this is what your question, I can answer it, but I'll ask you guys, and you guys can answer it. But I love this one. What's a belief you've held in your 20s or 30s that you've completely outgrown?
Wait, what's a belief that I've held in my 20s that I've outgrown?
If you had in your 20s, okay, one thing that I don't know, whatever. I just want one of my, I used to think if you were successful, your success was defined by your career. That was what I thought in my 20s.
I literally was going to go there.
See?
Yeah.
It's that's what I thought true success was. And obviously I don't think that anymore. I think that it's just the success is more, I don't know, about who you are as a person, how you treat other people, and your family. And how you are out. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Also, I had this, maybe it was being in New York City. It was very much if I'm not working 120 hours a week, I'm not successful.
I'm still
this correlation with,
but like
we have that in common though, because we have a hard time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, can I just not be alone with my thoughts?
Yes.
Like, why can't I appreciate just like sitting down and like doing nothing? Yesterday, perfect example, crazy day at work, running around to the point like, you know, forgetting about a play date my daughter was supposed to go on. And then my husband gets home after dropping, you know, the hockey with Chloe, and I'm in full spring. We're not spring. I'm in full spring cleaning mode.
Oh my God.
And decide to start that at 7:15 p.m.
I'm the same way, Michelle. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Like it's really, and I was like, I put the fireplace on, I got Charlie cozy with the movie, and I'm like, it would be so great if I would just sit on my butt right now.
Right. So you started cleaning your house at 7:15?
Like everything, 7:15 at night. Like just going through closets.
It not already?
No, I'm like, an anti-hoarder, a little bit OCD.
And then when I'm the same way, when your house is unorganized or like you feel like the closets are not like put in a certain way, I just like start thinking about it. And it's for whatever reason, whenever I'm the busiest during that day, I cannot just go home and sit down. Like it's like, I have to do something.
Go from the crazy busy feeling to like, oh, we're gonna relax. I think I need some steps in between that. I don't know what those steps are.
Yeah.
And again, like when I was younger, I just always thought that if you were successful in your career, that would mean that's success. And I just now understand, and I'm learning still, because I obviously do still want to be successful. I still want to do me. I had kids for 10 years and I'm done having children, and I want to do something for me now, which is I'm doing this podcast, we're doing Instagram, I'm doing a couple other things. But success really is about you as a person and how you've grown and the people that you hang out with, and if your children are happy and if your husbands are happy, if you have a good marriage. And I just think success is not measured by your job, and that's what I think financially. And I think a lot of people in our area see success as financially or successfully if you're really high up in your job or whatever it is. But I think that's also New York City mindset.
Yeah. The New York City mindset is very work hard, play hard.
Yeah,
and that's why a lot of people are having kids later in life too, which
I feel like I was fortunate. I think I was fortunate enough to where when I was in my 20s and I moved to the city, I always had this mentality like, if I don't try what I really love right now in my life, then I never wanted to like live with regret.
Yeah.
You know, so I just really spent my 20s like, I don't want to live with regrets, you know, so I'm going to do everything that I want to do.
Yeah.
And to try to, you know, get there.
Yeah.
I know. I think about that even with my own kids. I'm like, you know, we live in an area where, you know, people around us are educated and, you know, we're in good schools and things like that. And I'm like, oh, like, I just don't, are we doing all this for them to end up becoming like an investment banker? And I'm like, that's so depressing.
Well, I often
like,
think,
I want them to love their life and like do what they want to do and not what, you know, they think they need to do, and that's so tricky.
And we do live in a bubble. Like we know that, and we need to, I think we're very good at showing the kids what life is and taking them outside of that bubble. But I think every parent, no matter where you are, struggles with that as well. They want the best for their kid and they want them to be happy as an adult. Like that's what our job is to prepare them for adulthood.
Yeah. I always think that kids who have to like really kind of like suffer or sacrifice, where do they get that drive? You know, that drive to want to succeed. And I often wonder if our kids are going to lack that because everything is so easy.
It's so funny, I think, and I don't know if I have the title right, but there was this book and it's called The Cost of Privilege. And it sheds some light on this, like where, you know, if you were somebody that did come from a lot of privilege, or you have very successful parents, or you've been in, you know, you've grown up in very affluent societies or neighborhoods, it becomes a little bit like almost like depressing, being like, how can I even keep up with this?
Yeah.
You know, as myself as an adult now, like how can I even, what do I even have to do to maintain the life I've always known? But now as an adult, it's a different, and I know this is like controversial to say, it's a different type of hardship on those kids. And I don't know. I think that that's another thing I think a lot of us think about is that drive. Like, how do you get that if you're just always comfortable?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And then when you talk to a lot of people, you know, that have been very successful, like so many of them didn't come from that.
I know, but that's why you have to make your kids a little uncomfortable, which is why it's like, it's hard, but that's why I do try not to do everything for them and try to teach them the value of $1 and show that, you know, bring them to charities. And, and
you guys should
like
have your kids watch the movie Unstoppable.
Unstoppable?
It just came out. It's very good.
Okay.
Inspiring. It's about it's actually based on a true story about this guy, the wrestler who had one leg, and he like was told just his fight, and it's got Jennifer Lopez in it.
Okay.
His fight and drive to get into university. He provided for his family. His mom, they had a terrible relationship, and he had to step in as the dad, and he paid his way through college, and it's just amazing how everybody like gathered around this kid and the drive that he had. Like he worked till 2:00 in the morning, and then got up, went to school, and fought so hard to actually win. Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah.
I do feel like I have a drive to work really hard. I just think now my priorities are different, meaning like I don't measure myself success by where I am in my career. I think I used to, but I don't know.
It changes.
It changes
as
your
you
priorities
get older.
change.
Yeah, especially when you have a family and kids and things like that. It definitely changes.
I have another question, unless you have one that you want to ask.
Go ahead.
Okay, I like this one. How do you protect your sense of self outside of being like a mom, a partner, a caregiver, a friend? Like, how do you make sure your self is protected?
I feel like that part of me has always been important for me.
Me too.
I'm a naturally a claustrophobic person. So I had to end up being with somebody that was going to be like, you're a free bird.
Right.
And that's why, so I always feel, I really don't feel like I lost myself in the process because as you were saying earlier, like I actually put myself first always, because if I'm well and I'm good, everyone else in the family's thriving.
Yes, that's so true,
so I put
Michelle.
myself first, and then I put, then I think about Steve, and then I think about our kids, because our kids are going to be great if mom and dad are, amazing.
Yeah.
But I knew that I couldn't be with anybody that was remotely controlling.
Oh yeah.
I needed to be free. I needed to follow what I wanted to do, but also have genuine support.
Yes.
Around me, not like fake support.
Yeah.
So I really feel I harbored that, and I tried to hold on to that. And luckily I did not end up in a relationship with a controlling person.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I think saved me.
Yeah.
And like, I always think about this again with my kids, like your first relationship or like, kind of boyfriend or whatever, even if it's in high school, like the quality or I think it matters. Like, I think one of the things that saved me is I had this, like the sweetest, kindest, smartest high school boyfriend. And I was like, that was my example.
Yeah,
I had a good dad, and I had that as my first boyfriend. And I was just like, well, things don't feel like that. I know it's like not good, I felt it saved me.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe people can think it's selfish, but I definitely put myself first.
I agree. You have to put yourself first. Like happy mom, happy wife, that equals a good life.
So how do you protect yourself?
I same thing. I take care of myself. I carve out time. Like I don't feel like I used to, by the way, when I first started having kids, I used to feel guilty about doing this, but I don't anymore because I need it for my mental health. I carve out time for myself, whether that's to write music or play music, go to the spa. And I'm not doing this every day. Like, you know what I mean? I carve out time when I can get away and regroup with myself, whether that's getting my nails done, going for drinks with a friend, going out with my husband. Like I need that one-on-one time. Like
you guys are so good with dating each other still.
We need that. Like that I think is like another important thing for relationships is carving out time for dating. But for me personally, I like my husband. I want to be with my husband. So I just carve out time for myself and my mental health where I'm not always taking care of the kids or taking care of my husband or taking care of the house or doing other stuff. So
how about you?
What about you?
You know what? I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really know how I protect myself. I guess maybe the question of like,
protecting yourself. Right.
But wait, what do you mean? Like exactly? Like, is it
or it's more like a feeling of like, how do you feel like you
like when you're burnt out
yourself, or you haven't like, you feel like you're
like I feel like if I was going how I would do with the kids in the house and everything 24/7, I would burn out and just be a miserable person. Like, how are you maintaining your mental health and like protecting yourself and not burning out? Like,
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I definitely gotten better at, being a little bit selfish with my time.
Right.
And saying,
There you
this is what I want, and I'm not going to feel guilty. Like,
Yeah,
if I went to the
that's it.
city for the day, I would totally be like, oh God, like, I have to make dinner, or I have to do this,
Yep.
or I'm
like
going to
overcompensating for the time that you're going to be away,
or like feel so guilty about just being away for the day. So now I'm just kind of getting into a role of like, you know what, I shouldn't feel guilty for doing what I want to do.
I love that you said that, because I feel the same way. Like when I do to carve out time, like I said, I used to feel guilty. Sometimes I still do when it's like crazy busy time, but you can't it is a practice. You have to say that in your head, being like, it is okay. Like, I have a husband, he's a father, like he can also deal with this stuff too. Like, it's okay if you spend some time and quality time for yourself rather than just being a mom, a partner, a caregiver, whatever it is.
It's like when the kids are like, who's your babysitter tonight? And I'm like, your father.
Yeah, I know. Right. Exactly. Like when you're leaving. Exactly. It's like, where are you going? Like, who's going to watch us? I'm like, your father. He's here tonight. Go bother him.
I was like, literally tonight, I'm not going to be home. So I was like, I have chicken in the fridge. Do you mind just, seasoning it and putting it in the oven? He's like, you want me to cook? He was like, no, that's not going to happen.
I love that.
I was like, I think
You're
my
like, just a
family
little
would
salt and
starve.
pepper.
Yeah, exactly. Anything.
Whatever. Here's a little pizza. Okay. Here's the other question, which I love this. We talked about this at one of our episodes. I think this is like a big let them type of question, but let's just see what you guys think. How do you overcome the fear of being judged by anyone in your life? Friends, strangers, acquaintances, husbands, mothers, fathers. How do you overcome the fear of being judged?
I think it's 100% the let them
Same
theory.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked a lot about that, but
or do you not have you not figured that out yet? I feel I have. I
feel you've
I don't give a crap.
You're like an Olympic winner in that.
a lot of practice.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like that Instagram where have you seen that one where it's like, I used to think that I wondered if they liked me, but now I'm wondering if I like you.
Wait, have you ever been in that moment where you might be with a group of friends or people, acquaintances or people in your life, and you just realize these are not my people anymore, and these are not my topics anymore.
120%.
You're there in the conversation, you're like,
and then you start just
talk about this anymore,
moving away.
Yeah,
I think I've always been like that because I've never been very judgy with people. Like I've always really just like let people be who they are and understand why.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people like have always, when you're younger, they would judge and talk about people. I've never been like that.
I think also like one of the first very like group mentalities that I've been thrown into was moving to the suburbs. Growing up, like I moved 4 times as a kid. I was a creative. I was in the arts. I didn't play sports. I was not a part of a sorority, so I never had like a girl group that was like, oh, there's like the 14 of us and we're like, I never had that.
Yeah.
And then I encountered that at moving to the suburbs at 36 years old and being like, oh, this is like stressful.
Yeah.
This is stressful. It's for me as a claustrophobic person, it like is very claustrophobic.
Moving to the suburbs.
I was like, cause I wasn't that girl that lived in a sorority or was on a sports team. And, I don't do well with that.
I came here from the city and I was like, look at this grass. I was like, this place is amazing. Like there's grass. Everything is so bright and airy.
So bright. Yeah.
Oh my God.
See, I always wanted to move back into the city. I missed it so much because Tom and I lived in the city for years, and then we had to go to Dallas, Texas for his job for like 3 years. So when we were coming back, and I grew up in this area, like I grew up in Fairfield County. So coming back, I always thought, well, we're moving back into the city because I missed that because I feel like I never got to experience the kids in the city because I had Vivian in the city and I never was like a mom in the city. So I never outgrew that. I feel like you guys did outgrow that. And
I had a pandemic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The pandemic happened.
Yeah. I love how I'm like, I had a pandemic. We all did.
We all did.
But I was like, that's what pushed me out.
I know.
Life in the city was so hard for me. I don't know about you guys. When I literally was that girl that went there, struggled, found a job. I mean, it was tooth and nail to like fight to stay there too.
Wow.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. There's a battle.
It's a game. It's a game.
It really is.
You're in survival mode a little bit. You actually don't realize how much you're in that mode until you leave.
Yeah.
Like while I was in it, I didn't realize how much of like, wow, we're really trucking through this, like to make this, you know,
to make it work.
I mean, it was super fun. I mean, I will never forget it.
course.
But I mean, some of the memories that
Oh my
I've
God, it
made
was
and
so
the
fun.
people.
But and by the way, this
amazing.
is why I feel like we bonded, because we love New York City. We go in there all the time, but I just feel we always come home. So
But I also think New York City is different. I don't know.
I think it's
Yeah.
very different.
I feel like when I was,
Yeah.
there, it was
It's very different.
very special.
Yeah. But I always wonder if everyone feels that about like their generation.
I feel
or their
like
time when they
everyone
were
says
there.
that. The older people, they're always like, "Oh, it's just so different now."
I know, but
Or
maybe we're
there's
just getting
people-
old. Like now I go back
Oh
and
my
I'm
God.
like, bring me to the Upper East Side.
I know.
And I'm like, I would have never been caught dead there before.
Dude, you guys,
And I'm like, it's
know.
so civilized.
I
up
know,
here.
it's so
I
civilized.
used to work at this club in the West Side.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, 2 a.m, right? I get done with work.
Yeah.
I see this horse and carriage guy drive, like literally, like,
Yeah.
a horse and carriage. And I'm like, can I get a
A lift home?
ride home?
Yeah,
He's like, sure. Horse and carriage drove me home to 3rd and like 32nd Street. I took a horse and carriage home. Could
But
you
that's such
imagine?
a New York
At 2
story.
o'clock
But
in the
that's a
morning.
New York City. See,
It's a
but
New
you
York
don't
City.
I
get that
remember
here.
just sitting there being like, I am in a dream.
Yeah.
Like
and there's
all my
so-
dreams are going to come true.
Oh, yeah. There's
like
so
it is
many
a place for
moments.
dreamers. You
There
know?
is so many
It
moments
is.
that I felt like that too, where you're just like looking up at the lights and the stars, or well, not the stars, the lights really, because you can't really see the stars. But like it is a magical place. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hate the city, but I don't know. I had a great time there, and I struggled there too. It's not like it was all like rainbows and roses, but just
I don't
looking
think it's
back.
rainbows and roses for
No,
anybody
no.
there.
I was actually smart. I had a really small studio. I like lied on I forged all of my documents to get it.
Great.
I don't.
Yep.
I mean,
because the requirements were
It's
insane.
ridiculous. I know.
were.
They'd be
insane,
like,
but
could
they
you
weren't-
show you make 50 times your monthly rent? And I'm like, I wouldn't be here getting this apartment if I was making 50 times this monthly rent.
I know, that's so true. It's like, how the hell am I supposed to do that?
It was horrible.
I don't know
I think
how
we
I
all
did
had
it.
to fudge those
We
documents.
did. Oh
Unfortunate.
my God.
I
I
know.
had 2 guy roommates, and I charged them for the full rent.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
you, like, milked
I
it.
so saved all of my money
Heck
and like did
yeah.
whatever I
That's
did.
so good.
Plus, I had a boyfriend, so I was like half the time in his house.
I remember I moved down from like Canada, so I was automatically at like a 30% disadvantage with the currency exchange. So it was
Oh
like
my
New York City
gosh.
plus plus like
Yeah.
the dollar. You know, it was. I mean, it was nuts.
What'd
it
you
was
do for work?
crazy.
What was your first job?
My first job was Dior. I went to LVMH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, blessed.
Yeah.
I know.
Actually, I mean, I moved to New York for
excuse me.
yeah, no, but I moved for an internship.
Yeah.
And it was like through NYU at the time. It was like a program through NYU. And I ended up at like this, it was called like Dennis Publishing, and they owned like Maxim magazine and Stuff magazine. So that was my first
Dream
technical
job.
Yeah, it was my first job. It was all like, there were so many women running those articles.
Yeah.
Like we were like, what are we going to say this month?
Yeah.
And then I was there for the summer and then got the job at Dior.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you do for Dior though?
I started off in like HR, and then I went into brand like development and knowledge, like education for all of like the store managers and things like that in the country, and then dabbled a little bit into PR, and then left and then started the label.
Is that with a fashion degree? What did you get your
No, God, that's a whole other story. So
Oh.
I went to Fordham at Lincoln Center in the city, and all I wanted to do was go to fashion school, was go to art school, was go to Parsons. But I was too chicken shit to put all my eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
I was just worried. I was like, no, you need a backup plan. Like if this doesn't, because it just felt like unrealistic.
Really?
That I would have like an actual clothing line. Like it just felt
Wow.
weird. So I was like, I need a plan B if all this fails.
Wow.
And my plan B, would have just like crushed my soul
Yeah.
inside, was to go to law school.
Oh,
So I was a pre-law
what?
poli-sci major in college.
What? I didn't know this about
and
you.
I was like, if I don't figure this out, I'm just going to go back to grad school and become a lawyer, which
And-
would have been,
Oh, that's so weird.
It would
I
have
feel
crushed
like
my
that's
soul.
the responsible side of you.
yeah.
which I do have. And when it
Yes.
shines, it does help me out. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like, again, like you're like, I went and I just put all my eggs in that basket and you
Oh
did
my
what you
God.
wanted to do. I was like worried about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't finish.
I
That
know,
really
but still
bothers me.
that you didn't finish.
Yeah.
You could finish now.
You know what? It's in the back of my mind.
I'll support you. I'll make some cue cards.
I know. Yeah.
Whip out
No,
the
that's
old-
what I struggle with every day. I'm always like, oh, do I go back there? Do I go back? You know, it's a
My aunt is so impressive. Like she got her college degree later in life, and she's now doing her like PhD at Harvard.
Really?
And she's like in her 60s. I think it's a PhD, but it's like, it's legit. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't think there's an age for that. Even when you're in college, there's people from all different ages there,
and
especially in New
more
York City
too. When you're older, because it's not like you just have to go.
I know, and you're there because you actually like want to go there.
Yeah.
It was so funny because every elective I had was like art.
Yeah.
Every single elective. I was like,
that's amazing.
Yeah. Art or like movies. Like theater.
Yeah. I didn't finish college either. I always think about that too. My parents always joke. They're like, you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think about that the same thing. But
well, you guys did both incredibly well. So I feel like I would lead with that actually. If I was in your shoes now, I'd be like, hey, I'm Tracy. I never finished college.
But actually, no, that's not true. I did go back to college and I got my bachelor's. I did.
Did you? When?
When I had Logan.
Oh, I didn't know that either. No, I didn't.
I
I always think about that, but this is why I think degrees are like a load of crap unless like you're a doctor or, a lawyer or something like that. But I went to college, met some people, left, went into the city, and I just started working, and people preferred my experience over my college degree.
It's really,
and I'm smart, and I'm a go-getter, and like, and the minute I started doing things, like, it's like, why my college degree didn't do anything.
I think it depends. Like,
it helps you put, like, obviously, it helps you put. I think it helps you get like a little bit of an edge on other people, but once you're already working, and it basically gives you a leg up for the interviewing process. But once you get a job, and if you're a go-getter and you get a job and you figure it out, it's kind of an even play field.
I just can't get over the cost of it in the United States. Like,
it's insane. It's not even worth it anymore.
My husband says this all the time. He's like, I always wonder like what path I would have gone down if I didn't have. Like when I graduated college, if I didn't have so much student loan debt. Like for him, he was like, well, I can't do anything else. Like I got to go to finance because I have like $150,000 of student loan debt. Like it was just such an insane amount. And you're like 24 or 23, like leaving grad school. And you're like, well, because he loved politics, he loved all that stuff. But he was just like, I'm going to be in debt forever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's so tricky. I think you're right. Like if you're going to be a lawyer or a doctor or something, that there's like a linear.
Yeah. I don't know.
Pathway.
My kids are in college now, and I feel like they absolutely need it, because if they had to go straight into the real world,
they need to grow up, right?
Yes,
but it's certain people. I think
college gives you a chance to grow up and get responsibility, and basically you're teaching them how to be an adult.
No, for sure. I mean, I think it's important personally.
Yeah.
Well, think about. I went from college like to basically moving and commuting into New York City. So like I think it's a different thing too. I've always had street smarts. I've never been like a book smart person. I mean, I obviously read, I study, but like that's never been my I guess my forte. My forte, whatever the frick. As I'm saying, I don't read. I can't even think of the word. But genuinely, I really do think that I am street smart and I can figure it out on my feet. And that's what I think my success came from. And
I sometimes joke about this with Steve. I'm like, if it's like a super easy task, he's just like, but if it's like the hardest thing, like that no one understands, he solves it. But I'm like, I think you overanalyze everything. We're just going from A to B.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a straight line and we'll be fine. And I'm just like, are we really?
I know.
I feel so bad. I just called him out on that, but
I feel like we should do one more
question and wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I have our little list here.
Okay.
What is your ultimate guilty pleasure?
Ooh.
Oh God.
My guilty pleasure. Okay, this is not sexual or anything. My guilty pleasure. I love watching trashy TV. Like I just that's how I unwind. Like I love the Housewives.
You love that.
I love that franchise. I just think watching them is just it makes me feel better about myself.
I love it. Wait, which one's your favorite?
The franchises. Well, I used to love the New York, but they changed it.
I know. Do you like the New York people?
I'm getting there. I'm not sure if I'm there yet, but I'm getting there. I love Beverly Hills. That was always Beverly Hills is like the OGs. Like Beverly Hills in New York City, but New York City is a little different.
I feel people are really into the Salt Lake one.
Oh my God. Duh.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
So into it. But that's
she forgot she liked that one.
Yeah, I forgot that I like it. Well, that's just because that is just a different type of people. Like, I don't know. It's just like the different way they were raised, the different way they talk to each other, the different way they go about stuff. And it's just really good. Like I don't know. It's really entertaining, and I could just like shut my brain off and relax.
I always watch it, and I'm wondering why do they always pick fights? Like I don't know.
Well, because
like
it's entertaining.
Dinner, but
I think they're strategic about the
Oh,
personality.
they are. I've seen them film before.
Yeah.
Like they have like producers all at the dinner, like basically writing and watching and redoing stuff. Yeah. Some of them are authentic. Some of the fights just come out of nowhere and they go with it.
Yeah.
But I also, these women are not really friends. Like they never were like together. And
you're just like thrown into it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You're like, this is your group of girls. Like speaking about my group fear, can you imagine?
Oh my God, I know.
I'd just be like a deer in
I
headlights.
feel like I would thrive in it though, because I just don't give a crap. And
You'd be the one I'm scared of.
I know.
I'd be like, oh God, that one.
I am a nice person, but if you mess with me, forget about it.
You're toast.
Wait, so what's your guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
Oh, what would mine be? Guys, I feel like super lame. I don't feel like I know what my guilty pleasure is. How sad is that?
No, but something that's just wait, think about like what if you, not with your husband, not with your kids.
Mine would be food.
Yeah, something food.
That's
Mine
oh
would
my
be
God,
food.
yours is totally food.
Yeah.
And Steve's too. Like you guys are like such foodies.
I know. I think that would be our guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Like people buy like really nice things and we're like, let's just go drop all our dough on a meal.
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
like I would say food.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like that's second to I love what you guys do. That's why Tom and I always try to go to the best restaurants and
It's so fun.
and explore.
And then you get to like talk and like be together and like enjoy a great meal. But it really
love
sucks
that.
doing that with somebody who doesn't appreciate it. Like I had like friends that I'm like so excited to bring them to actually
Like me.
you guys. Yeah. I was like, actually,
when we
all
bought
no,
Tracy.
you're the best.
was
No, I'm like we're touring Tokyo together. Like she's like, she's in. But sometimes you'll go with somebody, you'll be so excited to share that experience. And they're just like, I don't get it.
this was okay.
Yeah.
Wait, where did we go though?
We went to Oijimi.
Oh, Oijimi.
I know.
Oh my
Shout out to
gosh.
Oijimi.
I know.
love
It
you
was
guys.
so
fish
good.
egg? Was it the fish eggs? The foie gras?
No, it was caviar we were
Well,
having.
mine was that I love I'm a caviar.
I mean, she was
girl.
downing it with her martini.
No, literally. No, they have a martini with caviar. Like
Like
it's
a caviar
like
shot
like a
or like
caviar
a spoon.
Yes,
Yeah.
like it was
I know.
insane.
It's really exciting too because my
went
brother's
perfectly.
boyfriend is
Yeah.
super into food.
Yeah.
Like he's a foodie. And it's so funny because my brother was like the pickiest eater his whole life.
Oh, that's funny.
I think now he's like adventurous, but it's super fun to like have him around because he'll cry and laugh about, a bite of food.
Oh, I loved him when I met him at your house.
Yeah.
They're so fun together.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, I think our time's up and this was fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
for joining us.